What's going on YouTube? Kevin here from TGITechday, and in this video I'm going to be showing you guys how you can get a wireless lavalier microphone system up and running for just about $100. Now before I go ahead and waste anyone's time, I just want to mention that this is not a wireless lavalier microphone in the sense that I, the talent, am wearing a wireless transmitter and then that's sending it to a wireless receiver that's mounted to my camera or some other audio recording source. That's not the type I'm talking about. What this build, as I call it, is really a way that you can have a lavalier microphone like I'm wearing right now attached to the talent so that the audio source is closer to the microphone, but at the same time you're not tethered to the camera. Now this is made possible, but the only downside of this is the fact that you have to do some work in post-production, that is syncing the audio from the lav mic to the camera. So that's the first warning out of the way. The second warning is that the $100 price tag that I have on this build, again as I'll call it, is kind of if you have a lot of time and you can absolutely find the best deals on the pieces of equipment that you need to make this possible. That does not include the cost of the camera. This is assuming you already have a camera and lighting set up. This is just for the wireless lavalier microphone system so that you can have it like me, where I'm not tethered to the camera right now, but you can still get that really close proximity audio that makes for good sound recording. So with all those warnings out of the way, let's go ahead and check it out. So the wireless lavalier microphone system actually only consists of two different parts: the lavalier microphone itself and the voice recorder that I have in my pocket that's recording the audio you're listening to right now. Now, the lavalier microphone that I'm wearing is the Giant Squid Audio Labs omnidirectional mono microphone. If you didn't catch all of that or you don't know where to look it up on Google, then I will be posting a link to that down below in the description so you guys can go ahead and check that out. But this is the microphone that I currently use and I have been using whenever I need to use a lapel mic. Now, these are actually handmade by a guy named Darren, and since this is a one-man business, it does take a little while for him to make the microphone that you choose, and then it does take a while for him to send it and ship it to you. So these are relatively hard to get, but I really think they're a good deal. I bought mine for $46, but the price has since dropped to $40. So it's even more affordable, and I definitely think it's worth it because it does sound really good for its price. Again, I paid $46, but you will find it for about $40, and I'm not sure if that includes shipping or not. I forget if there is a shipping price, but it is $40, so that is a good price. Now, it does sound pretty good, but the only downside is that it doesn't really look all that great. I'm going to do a close-up of this right now, but you guys can see that the lavalier mic itself does not actually look all that presentable. It doesn't look all that professional, but I'm willing to take slightly lower quality looks for higher quality audio, and I think that's definitely what this microphone has to offer. The second part of the wireless lavalier microphone system is, like I mentioned, a voice recorder. Now, because this is a dedicated recorder, I don't need to have this tethered to the camera. Instead, it can record its own audio files, and then I sync those files up in post like I mentioned before, and that's what I'm going to be showing you guys in the second part of this video. But right now, this part, I'm going to be showing you guys the voice recorder I have, which is the Zoom H1 Handy Recorder. Now, I did make a review of this on my channel, and I don't think that review really did it justice as to how much I love this recorder. I would definitely recommend it, considering that it's very affordable at a list price of $60. That's right, I found this for $60 on eBay. I bought mine for $67 because that was the price at the time, but I have seen this as low as $60 on eBay, which makes it very affordable. Not only that, but it's very featureful. It's packed full of various different things, everything you would ever need in a really good audio recorder, and again, it's very affordable. As you can tell, it's also very small as well, so you can stick it in your pocket and it really won't be all that big, so it's not going to be very obtrusive or uncomfortable for the talent to wear. But the important thing that makes the Zoom H1 a good audio recorder for this microphone is that it has a 3.5mm line in, and not only that, it's gold plated, meaning that you have a higher quality connection, which means better quality sound. Also, because it's a voice recorder, it has better preamps inside, so the audio you get will sound nice, crisp, and clear. So in this segment of the video, I'm going to be showing you guys a little bit of the post-production side that goes along with this wireless lavalier microphone system. Now, I did say earlier in the video that you do have to do some external audio syncing because you are recording to an external audio recorder, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that right now. So I've already imported all of my camera files here, and I have the corresponding audio files from the Zoom H1. What I'm going to do is I already have one clip synced up and ready to go right here. Let's play a little bit so you guys can hear what it sounds like. It is really a way that you can have a lavalier microphone like I'm wearing right now attached to the talent so that the audio source is closer to the microphone, but at the same time you're not tethered to the camera. Alright, so you guys should have seen and heard that sample earlier on the video, because this is actually the intro part of the video that you guys are watching right now. And I'm going to show you guys how to do this. Now this is pretty simple in concept. I take the video clip that I want to edit and plop it into the timeline. And then I take the corresponding audio clip right here, excuse me, and then I line it up. Now the key is that you have to have waveforms enabled. If you guys don't know what waveforms are, these are these little spikes that you see that correspond to the peaks, the crests and troughs of the sound waves when you're talking or when any sound is produced. That's how sound is captured and how sound is made. It's through waves, and this is called a waveform. So you can see here that I clapped right here 3 times in rapid succession. Now the reason why I do this is because this helps me identify places within the audio clip so I can sync them up in post like I'm doing right now. So you'll notice if you just look right here, it looks like there's just one big peak here. But what you want to do is zoom in to this section, and you'll notice that you'll start to see 3 distinct peaks coming up, and that corresponds to the 3 claps I did in rapid succession. Now you'll notice here on the blue track, this is the camera's video track and the camera's audio track, and this green one is the audio track recorded with the Zoom H1. And as you can tell, you can see and hear this, the audio is way out of line. So the reason why we clap, or the reason why you have those slates that you see directors, clapping right before a scene, is to sync up and give you guys a reference point to actually sync up the audio. Now what we're going to do, since we have these 3 claps right here, these 3 peaks, it makes it very easy to identify. So we're going to click and then drag this along until they seem to match up, and then we're just going to zoom in as much as we can and then make really fine adjustments along the way. So now we see that these 3 peaks are lined up pretty much between the blue and the green track. Just do some fiddling around with it until it looks right. Now you can zoom out a little bit, and then you can play it again to see how it looks and how it sounds. All right, so that seemed to match pretty well the audio and the video. Let's go to the part that I'm actually talking. So this wireless lavalier microphone system actually only consists of 2 different parts. All right, and that sounds and looks good. So once you are done syncing up these clips, the audio clips from the video file and the actual separate audio file, you guys can go ahead and clip off that beginning part. You don't need this clapping. This clapping was purely for reference for when you're editing it. Once you are done with that, you can click and then delete that. And so you can just create a transition right around here, and then it'll flow from one clip to the next. All right, so now we're going to the second part of the post-production work. Now that we have our audio synced up, we have to make it sound better. Now, even though I said this does sound really good, the reason why it sounds as good as it does is because I did a little bit of EQing afterwards in post, which is what I'm doing and what I'm going to show you guys right now. So we left off with the fact that we had these 2 audio clips synced, but the system actually only we still had both of the audio tracks. So what you want to do is you want to basically mute the track that came from your camera. Now I did mention in another video that I made that onboard and built-in cameras do not sound good at all. But what they are good for is good reference tracks for when you're doing things like this, when you're recording with external audio and you need a reference track to sync it. Now the audio here on the video track sounds decent because I did have a shotgun microphone plugged into my camera at the time, but if you use the built-in microphone, that audio is no good. You definitely don't want the built-in audio from the camera playing at the same time that you have your higher quality audio track going, because it'll just ruin the sound. So basically what you want to do afterwards, you just mute the track, so bring it down to essentially negative however many decibels it goes. You don't want to bring it up to 0 decibels because 0 decibels is actually your highest point in audio, which is weird. You want to go the farthest down negative, or mute the track, cut the track, trash the track if possible. Now, you always want to actually you don't want to completely trash the audio. You want to keep it there in case you do make a mistake, in case you go like this, for example, or they're not linked together. Pretend they're not linked together. Pretend you do this and you accidentally do something and you move the audio files. You still want to have the track there so that you can resync it if possible. But thank goodness to the use of, Control Z and undo, that's not really a problem. But you shouldn't completely trash it. You should only trash it pretty much only at the very, very end when you're sure that everything is synced up and everything is perfect. So I found that the Giant Squid Audio Labs Lav mic does not perfectly capture the human voice. And listen to what I'm saying right now. Actual lavalier microphone itself, and the second part is what I have it recording into, which is actually concealed in my pocket right at this moment, but I will be showing that to you guys in a minute. You guys will notice that that doesn't really sound like my actual voice, and the reason is because I did a little bit of EQing on this. Now, if you guys don't have as high-tech of a video editing software like I do, which is Final Cut Pro 10, which is debatably pretty good top-of-the-line software. Not really top of the line, but it's still pretty darn professional, pretty good, and pretty featureful. If you guys can't do the type of EQ that I'm showing you guys now, you guys can just play around with it so that it does sound a little bit better. But I'm going to go to Audio Enhancements here. Equalization is currently flat. What I'm going to do is click here. This is the equalizer, the graphic equalizer, and this basically allows me to edit the waveform so that I can change each of the frequencies and how loud or soft each of them comes across. Now, I did take a lot of time to test this out. I did figure out almost the perfect way so that my voice does sound the best. And this might sound good for you, but you should do your own testing if you can do this. If not, just fiddle around with the built-in settings and then see what sounds good. But at the 32 hertz band, I have 0 decibels. I have 3 decibels at the 64 hertz. At 128, I have 3 as well. At 256, I have 1. I have at 512, -3. I have -4 at 1K. That's -1, -4. We have 0 at 2, and then 4 at 4. I have 5 at 8, and 0 at 16 kilohertz. So basically, if you guys have something that reduces your mid-range, right here, the right side are your highs or your trebles, the middle are your mids, obviously, and the left side is your bass or your lower end. And basically what I found is that this microphone, the Giant Squid Audio Labs omnidirectional mono microphone, it tends to overemphasize the mids around the 1 kilohertz band. So what you want to do is basically drop that, or if you have a treble booster and bass booster and you can apply this at the same time, do that. If you guys can cut the mids down a little bit, go ahead and do that. But I found that these numbers and these levels, I will post them down in the description in case you want them. These do make my voice sound the best. So you guys can hear, this is what it sounds like now. Pocket right at this moment, but I will be showing that to you guys in a minute. So it does sound a lot better, it does sound a lot more like my voice, and does sound, as far as I can tell, a lot like what I sound like recording with a studio microphone. So there you have it, a very inexpensive way to get a wireless lavalier microphone system up and running. For about $100, I think you guys can agree with me that this is a very affordable and very cost-effective method of capturing this type of audio. Considering that companies like Sennheiser, Shure, and Sony have wireless lavalier microphones that range anywhere from $400 to $700 or $800 plus, I think you guys can definitely say that this is a good way to capture audio that sounds really good and yet is very inexpensive to get. So there you guys have it. Again, a wireless lavalier microphone system that you can get for a very affordable price of around $100. Thanks for watching, guys. Please feel free to rate, comment, and subscribe for more content in the future, and I'll see you guys in the next video.